All right, we're gonna try this again. We tried a couple times, it wouldn't come up. Switched to the other phone. Let's see what happens. Sorry. So I titled this one "Show Some Respect." Now we're all grown adults. Everybody that works here is, you know, I think pretty much everyone that works here, except other maybe some mechanics, are all at least 21 years old. Uh, and I don't know, maybe your parents didn't teach you about just proper manners when you were growing up, but uh, I've seen a lot of it, just blatant disrespect here lately, and it just it's gotten under my skin a little bit. So what do I mean by show some respect? Well, this goes a lot of different ways, guys. Uh, let's start with just dispatch. Let's start there. Those guys and gals up there in dispatch have a real hard job, and when you call in and you're all cussing and just really being difficult, first of all, you're being very disrespectful. Secondly, you're making their job a lot harder than it needs to be. That being said, back to the disrespect thing, this does not include just being upset because you're not moving or you're not getting around trip or you're not doing this or you're not doing that. This also includes the way you talk to them and what you're talking about. Let me give you an example. Dispatcher picks up the phone. There's that sweet voice. Disrespectful. Let me tell you why. That person you're talking to has probably got a husband or a wife or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or, you know, whatever. And I'm fairly certain they don't want you talking to their significant other like that. Because I'm 100% certain I don't want you talking to my wife like that. So there's a very thin line between being funny and being inappropriate. Uh, Dispatchers and anybody really typically know when you are being disrespectful or inappropriate. They know when you're just being funny. Uh, so recognize that you probably don't want someone calling and talking to your significant other that way in any way. Just pretty much being a creeper or yelling at them or flat out being rude. I'm 100% certain you don't want that. Uh, I know I don't. When it comes to my family and the respect for my family, I'm a very short tempered individual. Uh, Disrespecting my family, uh, that's a real good, quick way to set me off. Uh, there's just things that you shouldn't do. So, guys, gals, when you call in and you talk to dispatch, be respectful. Be careful of what you're saying uh, and the way you're saying it. Realize that they have a tough job, and all you're doing is you're making it tougher. And I mean, you got to work with these people every day. You know, if you're in the Permian, you're going to work with Karen and Lindy 3, 4 days a week. Then you're going to work with Renee and Jasmine 3, 4 days a week, every week. You have to work with these people. They have to work with you. Show a little respect. If their job's a little easier, your job's going to be easier. I know that sounds a little weird, but I promise you, things move quicker when everyone gets along and everyone's all happy and blah, blah, blah. Dispatchers have, as far as I'm concerned, the toughest job in any trucking company, period. Now, no offense to Mr. Brady or Mr. Johnson or Mr. Rendon or Mr. Crocker or any terminal managers or anything like that. I understand that they have a tough job. Dispatchers, in my opinion, have the toughest job in any transportation company worldwide. Period. They babysit drivers all day long. And what are drivers? We're a bunch of grown ass kids most of the time. Uh, we can be sweet, we can be fun, we can be funny, but then we can be the biggest babies in the world, the biggest whiners, the most difficult people in the world. And they deal with every single aspect of that every night. They may call me, and I am typically the happy go lucky, cheerful, what do you need? I'll go do it guy. I've had a couple off nights. I'm not immune to it. And a couple dispatchers will attest to that. I've had a couple nights where it's like, not tonight. Uh, Even then, I try not to let my bad day come out on them. And it has a couple times, and every time the next morning, it's like, I can't believe it. And I'm on the phone with them, apologizing, because it's an asshole move, guys. Taking your bad day out on a dispatcher who all they're trying to do is their job and keep you moving, uh, for lack of a better term, is an asshole move. So please be mindful of what you're saying, how you're saying it, and how you're treating these dispatchers. Moving on to the next one, management. Everybody knows you should be respectful for management. It does not matter if you do not like the person that is in that position, period. It doesn't matter. You do not have to like that person to respect that position. I hope everyone understands what I just said. You do not have to like the person to respect the position. It's the same thing with the military. There are ranks in militaries, there's a chain of command. You do not have to like your captain, your major. You do not have to like, you don't have to like the President of the United States. But you need to respect the position that they're in. They worked hard to get to those positions. I mean, they've spent their life moving up the ladder, the corporate ladder or the company ladder or wherever they're coming from to get to that position, and they're doing the best that they can do. And they're trying to keep things moving smoothly. All these gears got to work together, and if one little cog in that gear is out of whack, the whole system's out of whack. Giving your managers a hard time, all it's going to do is cause you as an employee grief in the end. Now, I don't tend to pull punches. I don't pull punches. I pretty much say what's on my mind when I want to say it, and that has gotten me in trouble over the years because I can be a little mouthy. That being said, I have enough respect for anyone above me in management that if they make a call, whether I like it or not, they're the management. I respect that position. They worked hard to get there. Okay, hey, I don't like the call they made, but that's their call, so I'm going to do what they want me to do. That's the way it is, and that's in any company, guys. It's not just transportation. That's anywhere. Anywhere. So think about that the next time you get called into the office, or you think one of our, a manager that you work with is causing issues. Think about that next time. They got a lot on their plate. A lot. Show a little respect. Show a little restraint. I've been in the Permian long enough now. I can pretty much walk in the office and I can tell if Larry Ridge is having a bad day, or our shop foreman Stanley's having a bad day, or Mike Crocker, our terminal manager, if it looks like he's kind of having a bad day. But I will say this about all of them on the management team in the Permian, because I deal with them on a daily basis. They are probably the most professional team of managers that I've dealt with, as far as keeping things professional and not allowing their bad day to bleed out and affect the drivers and the employees that they're in charge of. They do a real good job of, hey, Fred ain't the reason I'm having a bad day. We're not going to take it out on Fred. Or, Oscar's not the reason we're having a bad day. We're not going to take this out on Oscar. Everybody has bad days, guys. I have them. Everybody has them. So show a little respect and understand that the management team from this level all the way up, to Mr. Brady and Mr. Johnson, are under a lot of stress to keep a company this size moving and moving smoothly, and keeping all the drivers that work for this company nationwide moving and making money. That's what they're here for. Sometimes things don't move as fast as you think they should, but I've not really I've not met a CEO yet that didn't have a plan in mind and was taking steps to achieve that goal. Sometimes things don't work out, guys. Sometimes we slow down for one reason or the other, especially in the oil and gas industry. But you have to be willing to sit up and say, you know what? I'm good. That also comes down to you as a person managing your life so that when things do slow down, you're good. That's a whole other video. So on to my next one are your field coordinators and your trainers. This one touches me a little, I take this one a little bit more seriously for a couple reasons. One, I'm a trainer. Two, my mentor had a very, I think it was a very unique outlook on the way trainers should be and what is expected of a trainer. And nowadays in the transportation industry, and this is nationwide, you just don't see that anymore. They'll take a driver that's got 6 months experience and have teach these guys to run over the road down in the southeast, and then they send them on a load to like Washington in December. That being said, I've met a lot of people, especially here at Brady, that don't have 20 years experience running a pneumatic, and they're some of the smartest people I've met when it comes to training and how they treat training. And it's been a real pleasure to me to meet some of those people. I take training very seriously. I take a lot of pride in what I do. So show some respect, not just to me, to all the trainers here. If you have a blue hat, come up to you on location and tell you, hey, we need to shut this down. We got to fix this hose because you're blowing sand all over the place. Or point something out. You've got something wrong with your trailer that's going to do two things. It's a safety issue and it's a customer issue. And what do I mean by a customer issue? Here lately, we've seen a lot of guys with holes in their metal product lines. The problem with that is you can put some tape on it and get through that one load, but you need to take it back to the shop after that one load and get that fixed. And here's why. Customers pay for the sand. They pay for us to haul the sand. They do not want to see the sand all over the ground because you didn't take the time to fix your equipment. That doesn't just look bad on you as a driver, it looks bad on us as a company. So if you have a trainer come over and he tells you, hey, you need to take that thing into the shop and get that fixed before you take another load, then show a little respect. There's a reason we're telling you that, and if you don't fully understand that reason, please ask, because I will explain it to you. I'll break it down in detail if that's what you want. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm trying to screw them out of a load. That's not what I'm doing. But I also don't want anyone else to screw Brady out of a customer. I'm not just thinking about you at that point. I'm thinking about the company. I'm thinking about my paycheck, your paycheck, 5 other guys unloading's paycheck, and I'm thinking about the company. Field coordinators. Same thing. They've got a tough job. They're watching sand levels, they're ordering sand, they're getting trucks in, they're backing trucks in. They got a lot of stuff on their plate. When you come in and give them a hard time, you're going to cause issues on that pad that should be non-existent. If you're disrespecting your trainer on the pad, you're causing issues that should be non-existent. There should be questions asked if you have questions, but you should not question your trainer. What do I mean by that? Field coordinator or trainer comes up to you and says, hey, we're going to open your hatch and we're going to do just something crazy. You need to be questioning that. Why am I backed up and you want to open my hatch? That don't sound right. Why are you doing that? Secondly, hey, I think what's these gauges doing? Ask a question. We're going to help you out. But when you give your field coordinators a hard time because they backed you up, you're on a little longer hose, or uh, the well went down and you're not going to get they're saying, hey, the well went down, you're going to have to call dispatch. We're not going to be sending anyone back here. Don't give your field coordinator a hard time because it's not his fault or her fault that the well went down. They have nothing to do with the fracking process other than making sure there's sand in the silos. So show a little respect. They got a tough job. So probably here lately, I'd say one of the biggest ones that I've run into that has kind of chapped my feathers pretty bad. We have a lot of owner operators leasing on with Brady, and that's great. It really is. Owner operators, show a little damn respect. There are a lot of you that are leasing on that don't have any experience pulling these sand cans. You have no experience in pneumatic, and a lot of you have had no experience in the oil field. We understand, especially me, that you have a lot of expenses as an owner operator. We understand that you may do things a little different when you're driving down the road solo. We have a job to do. The company, the trainers, everybody here has a job to do. When you first get here, you expect respect from us. We expect you to respect us. Now, some people will argue, well, respect is earned. In some cases, yeah. And this goes back to we respect the position, not the person. I have a lot of respect for, I don't know, the governor of friggin' Idaho. They worked up, they were elected, they got that position. I have respect for the position. I don't know the guy, he's a politician, so I'm probably not going to respect anything of him, or her, because I don't know if that's male or female out there. But anyways, guys, when you get here, take a breath. Help your trainer help you. Help management help you. I'm willing to help anybody that's willing to help themselves. I've been quite literally woken up at 2 a.m. to help a guy build hoses because they did them when he first started here, and he went so long without doing them he completely forgot, and I just happened to be on the yard. And I tell all the trainees here, wake me up, call me if you need anything. That's part of my job as a trainer. I may have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning or 6 in the morning if I've been working most of the night, whatever, to help you out. That is part of my job as a trainer, and I take that a lot of pride in doing that. Some trainers, they don't care. 2 o'clock in the morning, they're not answering their phone. Now, you may have to call me 3, 4, 5 times, but eventually I'll get back with you. But show a little respect. Now, I'm going to hit on one last thing. And this is mainly for the men. And I think this is more of just a reminder of the golden rule, and that is, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Now, I'm not going to preach at you. I'm not breaking out the Bible and praise Jesus and cleanliness, all that crap. That's not what this is. When you are talking to a woman, show a little respect. And that's any woman, not just at work, but especially your dispatchers. They don't need to hear the sugar mama, you got a sexy voice, hey baby, baby, whatever, blah, blah, freaking blah, blah. All you're doing is making their job tougher. You're being disrespectful. And guys, you got to think about this. If they are offended by what you have said or what you have done, you have opened yourself up to a sexual harassment investigation. Remember, you do not have to be face to face to offend somebody. So be careful with that. Again, Brady dispatchers, anyways, are really, really great at what they do, but there is a thin line, a very thin line between being funny and being inappropriate. So be careful there. Show a little respect. Be respectful to dispatchers and their families, uh, and everything will probably get along just well. So I think that's all I got for tonight. I just overheard a conversation uh, with someone talking to a dispatcher, and it wasn't one of ours. I was at a truck stop, standing inside, and this big, loud guy was cussing at the lady at the pilot. He's cussing at his dispatcher, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, it's probably a good thing I'm not his dispatcher because I'd leave his ass sitting in freaking Midland, Texas all night. Uh, that's just me. Uh, show a little respect. That's what got this started, and yeah. So, sitting out on location, guys. So if you questions, comments, concerns, please put them in the comments section. Like and share the video. If you got any, especially if you got any questions about the company, hit me up. Give Jason or one of the ladies up in recruiting a call. And if you think something's not adding up with what they're telling you, please shoot me a comment. I'm gonna tell you straight up what it is. I don't BS it when it comes to work. And I've got a few guys that are working here right now that can attest to that. So again, any questions, comments, let me know. Keep it real, guys, and we'll see you out here one day. Be safe.